This is a case of a young 38-year-old patient with a traumatic posterior subcapsular cataract which is subluxated from trauma and also has associated high myopia with keratoconus and Fuchs dystrophy, and this is his only seeing eye. So here I am first staining the capsule with trypan blue under an air bubble, exchanging the air with viscoelastic. Again, keep every step minimalistic and simple so not to traumatize this eye any further, as my desire is to give him his 20/20 if I can. I'm starting the capsulorhexis very gingerly, and I feel the capsule is very paper thin and extremely fragile, as I'm also getting to feel its increased mobility from the zonular damage caused by the trauma. Here you see me again very gently creating my capsulorhexis. My desire is to keep it small so I don't go into the zones of the zonular imperfections, and also I can always extend the capsulorhexis by spiraling it later if I need to. Keeping it small gives me better control to this entire capsular bag in case I need the anterior capsule for the near future. So again, very carefully proceeding with my capsulorhexis. Again, as I've mentioned in many previous surgical videos of mine, I do want to make sure this patient reaches 20/20, irrespective of the number of difficulties I have faced here, right from how to calculate his intraocular lens to facing his eye, which is the inherent high risk of this being his only seeing eye in this very young patient with the traumatic subcapsular cataract, which is subluxated, and also with his associated keratoconus and high myopia. Here we are, the capsulorhexis is now complete, and that's a very important stage in this surgery. Now I'm going to gently hydro dissect the lens, trying to feel how soft or hard it is. As you can see, the lens does have some certain areas of hardness. I'm trying to mobilize the lens and checking for zonular stability, and I do see quite a bit of laxity, though it is present, and that's a good sign. Here we are, I'm trying to prolapse the lens out of the capsular bag. Remember, I had made a small anterior capsulorhexis. So here I am trying to see if I can further now hydrodissect it gently out to tilt the bowl and get behind this lens. And I am successful in doing that. Now I gently cartwheel it out completely out of the capsular bag. By doing this, I have a few advantages. One, the chamber is deep enough for me to work on this lens. Two, the capsular bag is now far away and not in the level of peril here. And I'm using the phacoemulsification again at very low flow and trying to phacoemulsify this entire lens. It does have areas of hardness associated with soft cortex in some peripheral areas. Introducing my second instrument here to manipulate the lens with again good chamber stability. As you can see, the eye is slightly out of focus, and in my complete desire to work on his vision, I even disregard that at some point, and I realize that only when I'm seeing this surgical video myself. Could have done better with higher magnification and better focus, but the cataract comes out very successfully, and each stage makes me more happy and confident as I now see my good anterior capsulorhexis. There is peripheral cortex I don't care for right now. I'm first putting in my intraocular lens for many reasons. One, this lens acts as a platform stabilizing the capsular bag. Two, I have had the audacity to actually put a toric lens in since I felt so sure of my manual calculations of his lens power and my desire to make him see the best I can. And here I am rotating the lens and keeping it slightly counterclockwise because it's a high myopic eye. May need lens rotation at the end of surgery to the actual placement axis. Here I am now planning to put in a capsular tension ring to secure the subluxated area of the capsule. I go in here gently as I'm demonstrating to some visiting surgeons, and boom, what happened here? It just slipped out of my hand, and not only did it land distorted out of the bag, it also pulled the entire lens and torqued it. As I'm praying, I try to get this ring back into the bag, and lo behold, for some godly reason, it fell back in place and the lens is in good position too. Since this patient lives in the same community, I had vivid and scary images of people pelting me with stones and blaming me for the bad outcome. But those scary thoughts thankfully dissipated as I saw the lens fall back into position. I rotate the lens in position, and I've also made the peripheral cortex come anterior to the intraocular lens, so it becomes easy for me to use this as a platform as I use my irrigation aspiration at low flow and get all the cortex and residual viscoelastic out in one movement, as you can see here. Gentle, and I can also gauge at this point the good stability of the capsular bag with no further need for any maneuver, as I'm thinking long term for this young patient. And as you see, as I came out, the chamber is stable too. I'm now hydrating the incisions to good watertight closure, and for just added measure given his one-eyed situation in this young patient who's also high myope with a keratoconic flail cornea, I'm adding Rishua sealant just as an added measure. Patient did very well from surgery and saw 20/40 next day post-op and 20/20 minus unaided at 1 week post-op, and is extremely happy with his outcomes. Thank you so much for your kind attention.